Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Novel Idea. My name is Dia, and today I have a tag. It's an original tag that Shelley Swearingen created, and it is called the Quarter Year Check-In, a reflective book tag. And Shelley created this kind of almost in response to a different tag that is the quarter year tag. She just wanted something that was a little bit more chatty, a little more reflective, not just on books, but on the community and friendship and that kind of stuff. And so she created a tag all her own to go into that, and she so kindly tagged me in it. So that is what we are doing this afternoon. As you can see, I am not at home, so I'm not going to be able to hold books up. They're gonna be popped in if I decide to edit. And otherwise, we're just gonna jump in and get started and do a little reflecting on the year so far. I do have tea. Today I have Yogi's Bright Peach Positive Energy Tea. And it's delicious. It's really subtle. I don't ever add sugar or anything to my tea. And so I just drink it the way it comes out of the package. And I am enjoying this one. It's not too sweet. It's got enough of a peach flavor that I can taste it. So I'm really enjoying it. It's good. So this starts off with the section about Booktubers. And it says, which bookish creator has influenced your reading most this year? That's probably more than one. There are some that I tend to read very similarly to, and so if they read something that I haven't read yet, or I haven't read in decades, I may pick that up and read it. But the ones that I can think of off the top of my head that I've read at least 2 books, either with or because they recommended them, and that would be Beautiful Minutia, Tiffany. I read with her Patreon. I have buddy reads with Tiffany. She's doing some read-alongs, and I am reading the books from those read-alongs a lot of times. And so I would say Tiffany. And another one is Stephanie from Ms. Richards Reads. We also do buddy reads together, and she is doing some read-alongs that I have been reading along with. And so I think between the two of them, they probably make up the bulk of who has influenced me this year and the books that I have picked up. I have another one that I'm going to pick up very soon that Stephanie just read, and I already had plans to read it, but knowing that she liked it, I'm more excited about it. And then Hannah from Piles of Books is another one that I have read some things recently that she recommended, but she's not making videos right now. So I'm anxious for her to come back though, because we do read very similarly, and I have liked what I have read on her recommendation. So have you noticed any interesting shifts or trends within the bookish content world? I don't pay too close of attention to the trends and content and that kind of thing, but I will say that there have been a lot of videos about no pressure, Like, don't feel pressure to perform, don't feel pressure to read a certain amount, don't feel pressure to, you know, have a certain aesthetic on your videos, that kind of thing. Don't feel like you need certain equipment, like just no pressure. And I don't know if that's a trend or not. It's just something that I've been seeing a lot of videos about. And also reading what you own. It's quite a trend on the bookish community. And then just a lot of not necessarily reverting back to, but a kind of common distrust of short form content. So unless it is like a clip from a longer form content video, I'm seeing a lot of people that are kind of not taking the TikTok recommendations seriously, or, you know, not looking at doing shorts about books and those kinds of things, kind of more of a kind of resurgence of the long form content, I guess. Those are some trends. Is there a type of bookish content that you wish creators, including yourself, explored more? My friend Jack at Spread Book Joy does these kind of rambles where she just talks about everything, including the books that she's reading, but maybe she'll talk about like just some things that have been on her mind, or she'll talk about things that she's been out and about doing, or things that are holding her back from making a video at the moment, or what videos she's excited to make. Just all different kinds of things. Sometimes she does like author spotlights within those rambles, or an illustrator spotlight within the ramble, or she talks about everything. And I just love it. I love that I can start playing her video, pop it in my pocket, pop in my earbuds, and just listen to her talk. And sometimes I'll even go back and like take notes on some things that she has said, or put something in my commonplace book about what she has said, as just something that I want to continue to remember and reflect on myself. And so I would love to see more creators do that, including me. So that's one thing. And then another thing that I've really enjoyed is seeing like themed videos, not vlogs necessarily, but like they've decided to choose a theme and read books in that theme, and then talk about them and how they relate to one another. And then I also really love it when creators like notice a theme, like they don't do it on purpose, but they are reading books and they notice this theme in the books that they are reading. They talk about the way that these books are connected, and the surprise that is, and that kind of thing. So different kinds of themes maybe are some other things that I would enjoy seeing more of. What is a book recommendation that you took from a creator that completely paid off? Nothing so far this year that I can think of. I guess I just finished a book that I think was a great recommendation, and that was Shepherd of the Hills by Harold Bell Wright. It was a recommendation from Hannah at Piles of Books, and I really enjoyed it. I read it with Catherine from Read Journal Love, and I'll be wrapping that up in a video very soon. So I won't go into it, but definitely paid off as far as I thought it was a wonderful book. Alana Estelle is one that I have gotten a few recommendations from that they've just knocked it out of the park. Alana, when she reviews a book, she reviews it very, very thoroughly. And so I kind of know going into the book what to expect from it. And so far, the ones that I've picked up on her recommendation from listening to her reviews, I have not been disappointed. One was Cold Mountain, which I'd heard about from others before, but it wasn't until Alana reviewed it and talked about it. I think it was like in her top 10 books that she'd ever read or something like that. I didn't pick it up until I heard that from her. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I ended up really, really liking that book. Another one was Abigail by Magda Zaba, and she reviewed that one also. And so I kind of went into it knowing what to expect and just wasn't disappointed. I just thought it was wonderful. Shelley, who created this tag, used to have this collaborative on her channel that was called Superlative Sunday. And Superlative Sunday was where she invited other people on to talk about their, best or worst or most surprising or those kinds of things, books. And one of the people that she had on was not a creator, but the book that he talked about was This Is Happiness by Niall Williams. And the way that he talked about it just made me go, I need to read this book. And it has quickly become one of my very favorite books. And so that definitely paid off, but that wasn't this year. So next, if you could collaborate with any bookish creator for a unique project, who would it be and what would you do? I am so not creative, people. I wish I was. I'm very good at copying. Very good at saying, oh, they did that. That's a really good idea. I could do that too. But I don't, so I have no idea what I would do with them. But I will tell you a few creators that I think I would love to collaborate with. Shelley is one of them. I just think that Shelley has the best ideas for doing videos, and the fact that she sits down to do them is also extremely impressive to me. She doesn't just hold on to the idea, she acts on it, and I just love that. Others that are bookish that I would love to do some sort of collaborative with. And some of these are not like strictly booktube creators. Morgan Long, who is a young creator in the Portland, Oregon area, which is not far from me, and I used to live in Portland. And so I just would love to get together with her, and we're both vegan, we both read books, we both love to kind of romanticize life and to drink tea, and we love animals and all of these other kinds of things. So I think it would be fun to get together with Morgan and do something. I just think it would be a blast. And then also Randy Lynn Reed, who is an artist and has her own creative thing, but she also talks about books, especially from the illustrative side. And I just love her. I love her spirit. I love just the sweetness, the quietness, gentleness of her videos that she puts out. And so, yeah, I would love to do something with the two of them. I would love also to do something with Jack that I talked about earlier. We read quite a bit together, and I love it. I love reading with Jack. She's just amazing. The insights that she has and the way that she just enjoys a good story. I just love her. So I would love to collaborate there. Carolyn Marie reads. I enjoy her so much. I just think she is absolutely precious. Ariel Bissett, who is Nova Scotia, Newfoundland? I think Nova Scotia. But she kind of is living my dream in a way. She lives in this old house that she's fixing up, and she just created a bookmobile so that she could go out and sell books in this cute little bookmobile at like farmers markets and stuff around the island. And she talks books with a good friend of hers. They have kind of like a podcast together, and I just adore the vivaciousness of her life. It's just full of verve. It really is. Christiane Jones, who is an Australian booktuber. She is also an author and an illustrator, and quite young. All of these, they're way younger than I am. But I just love them, and I love what they have chosen to focus on and to do with the time that they have. Kate Howe used to have these life softening videos that she would talk to other booktubers about, and she's not doing those right now, but I love that idea and like continuing to be able to do that. And I would love to do that with Kate if she was still doing it. But yeah, just kind of the idea of the things that soften the edges and the corners of our lives. What do we do? So I love that kind of idea. And then a couple of people that I think would be fun to collaborate with, just because I absolutely love to to listen to them, are because of the upbeat that they have, the spirit of wonder and joy and snarkiness, is John from Talking Stories, and Alan from the Library of Alexandria, and Sophie from Redhead Reading. Yeah, so I just think all of them would be wonderful. That's more than just one, which is what it asked for. Has your relationship with the bookish community changed in any way this year? I don't think that it has really changed so far. I mean, the longer that you're here, the better known you are and the better you know others. So I think I'm still looking for new channels to watch. I'm still trying to make sure that I comment often on the channels that I do watch. And then, I mean, as far as my own channel goes, I think that I'm not putting out as many videos as I was initially, because my husband's job changed. He didn't change companies, he just changed jobs within the company. But it means that he's not out as often. And it's hard for me to find the time to sit and create a video when we are in a one-room space, which is often these days why you see me making a video while I am puppy sitting these boys, these lads behind me. Because he is home a lot, and it's just difficult to, we have a one bedroom apartment with a, one living room, dining room, entryway area, and kitchen. All of that is just one room, and then there's a bedroom and a bathroom. And it's just hard to find the space, hard to find the time when he isn't up, but it's light enough outside that it's not a dark video, just all those things. So, and like I said, I am just not creative. I think that in that way, some things maybe have changed in my relationship with the bookish community. All right, the next section is trends and patterns in your reading. And the first prompt or question is, are you reading more or less than expected? And I don't set an expectation for myself. I just don't. Maybe it's because I know myself, and if I set a goal, I'll probably be very disappointed with myself. And so I just don't. I can tell you that I am reading less than I was 2 years ago at this time. For some reason, I'm just not reading quite as much as I normally have in years past. But I don't care. As long as I am enjoying what I'm reading, I'm okay with that. Are you reading more backlist or new releases? Almost everything I read is backlist. I don't trust new releases. I just tried a couple of newer releases, and I'll talk about one of them very soon, but I find that 9 times out of 10, they're disappointments, and I don't like being disappointed. So, backlist. After lots and lots and lots of people have reviewed it, and there's somewhat of a consensus of things to watch out for, or trigger warnings, those kinds of things that have been expounded on by people, I might pick it up. Have you been reading books you already own, or are you still picking up library or borrowed books? I already kind of answered this. I would say more than 70% of what I read is from my own shelf. What's the longest book that you've read so far, and what is the shortest book that you have read so far? I might need to look at this. You go to Storygraph. Anathem by Neil Stevenson, and it was 937 pages. So that's the longest. And then I have been reading for Picture This. But if we're talking like actual book, then was selections from the Canzonieri and other works, and they are by Francesco Petrarch. So that would be the shortest at 85 pages. So the particular one that I read was only selections from the Canzonieri. It's poetry, and it was wonderful. I cannot recommend it highly enough. It was fantastic. Have you read anything completely outside of your comfort zone? I can't say that I've read anything completely outside my comfort zone, but I do not read historical fiction very often. because several people had a book that like made their top book of the year this past year, and uh, and it was like multiple people that read books that usually I get along with, not always, but usually. I went ahead and tried a historical fiction, and it was The Frozen River by Ariel Lahan. And the content of it, the subject of the story and the amount that it was talked about, and the overall just content of the way that it was talked about, was just too much for me. I just was not handling it well, and it was too unsettling and too hard for my heart, and so I DNF'd it. And I did make it pretty far in the book before I decided to put it down, because it wasn't getting better, it was getting worse. Have you noticed any patterns in the kinds of books that you are drawn to this year? That would be the same books that I'm always drawn to. And that is things that are quiet and philosophical and hopeful and cozy, with beautiful writing, bygone eras, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, those are what I'm drawn to, and that's no different than normal, I don't think. I think that's pretty much what's always on my docket. Have you been more intentional with your reading, or has it felt more like following whims and impulses? Both. I'm always intentional with reading when I have a buddy read, and I otherwise tend to follow whims and impulses. I have a book that I'm reading right now that was not on my pile of possibilities for the month, but I'm loving it, and I just picked it up because I wanted to. I just finished a book that was not on my pile of possibilities. But at the same time, I've also had 2 buddy reads that I've already completed, and another one that I'm in the middle of, and one that I'm about to start. So buddy reads intentional, everything else on a whim. Reading goals and challenges. Are you on track with any reading goals or challenges that you set at the beginning of this year? I did not set any goals. I do not set goals. The only thing that I have that I do pretty much every year is a list of classics that I would like to read throughout the year. And then I ask for others that would like to read them with me. When I put up my classics list for the year, I'm like, anybody want to read these with me? And then, it just broke my heart. One of the books I just read, somebody had wanted to read it with Catherine and I, Shepherd of the Hills, and I somehow completely missed that they wanted to read it with me. And it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that that happened. So always check in with me. If you want to read something with me, please keep checking in with me about it. I try to write them down and make sure that I've got things, several times, and somehow I completely missed one. So anyway, okay. Let's see. Have you abandoned or changed goals? No. Are there any books that you still want to get to before the end of the year? Just the buddy reads that I have. I don't think, though, that there's any like one book that I'm just hankering to get to. I'm just really looking forward to all the buddy reads that I have ahead. Personal reading reflection is the next section, and it says, what's the most disappointing book that you have read? I'm going to go through these because I want to tell you something. What's the most disappointing book you've read? Which book surprised you the most in a good or bad way? Have you discovered any new favorite authors? And what's the best book that you've read so far this year? And I'm not going to tell you any of that. I feel like I talk a lot about books that I really love before I get to the end of the year and make my best of list, and then everybody already knows. So I'm gonna keep it a mystery. If you watch my wrap-up videos, you'll probably have a general idea of what I'm really enjoying and what possibly might make my best of, worst of list. But yeah, I don't want to tell you. I want to save it for the end of the year. So I'm not going to answer those ones. There's a question on here though about a book that challenged my perspective and made me think differently about something. And I would say I read C.S. Lewis's The Four Loves earlier this year, and it was mostly February, part of March. And I am still thinking about that book. I'm still thinking about some things that he said and the way that he was able to put into words something that I have not been able to myself, number one, and then also just really connected with the way that he said them. And I don't agree 100% with his book and his thoughts. However, the things that I do agree with, I am still thinking about and mulling over and chewing on. So yes, I would say that one for that. And that is everything. That's everything for the tag. Thank you so much, Shelly, for creating this and for including me in it. I feel honored. I am going to tag Book Songs and Other Magic, Celeste at A Reader's Almanac, Sarah at My Granny Era, Cheryl at Candlewick Library. Yeah, I'll do those. Or maybe Hannah at Savage Reads. We'll do those ones. There you go. If you've already been tagged or already done it, I am so sorry. Shelly did a great job putting it together. I like the chattiness of it and that it's not just books. And so just lovely. If you don't have a channel and you want to answer some of these questions, I would love to hear your answers. So please let me know in the comments below, okay? And I especially would love to know if there is a kind of content or video that you guys would like to see more of. Like I said, I'm not creative. I don't have big ideas. I'm just a reader and I am here reading and sharing. So thanks for joining me again, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye everyone.